And we're back, episode 46, Quick Hands Rugby League podcast. This is the pod that tells it like it is. Boys, Arthur, George, great to see you again.
Always good to be here.
How is everyone?
Great. What a great weekend of footy, wasn't it? It was good.
For some people it was.
It was unique because on Thursday we saw St George announce that they're the worst team in the comp.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, they did announce it on Thursday. But then on Saturday, the Tigers saw, you know what? No way, man. We're the worst team in the comp. And then on Sunday, Canterbury go, hold my beer.
Wait a minute.
They hold my beer. I've never seen three teams fight so hard for a spoon.
Jeez, we had some cricket scores on the weekend.
Oh, it was terrible.
Mate,
We'll get to this. George.
There's timber work on offer, mate. There's timber work on offer.
It's a unique
George.
season.
Where is round 18?
It's in the can.
It's in the can.
It's in the can.
It's in the can. But you know what? Before we get to that, I think we need to jump straight into Origin mode.
Ooh,
because
yes.
Origin 3's around the corner. Teams have been announced. Do you want me to run through them, guys?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So for the Blues, we have Tedesco retaining his spot at fullback, Brian Toto on one wing,
Middle.
and Josh Adokar retained his spot on the other wing. The centres, Stephen Crichton and Bradman Best. There's an interesting one. Cody Walker at 5'8", Mitchell Moses at half, Jake Trbojevic is back at prop. Damien Cook is starting at hooker. Regan Campbell-Gillard has been recalled at prop. Liam Martin back row. Kaloa Matangi back row. Cameron Murray starting at 13 at lock. And on the interchange bench, we got Isaiah Yeo, Jacob Safidi, Reece Robson, and Clint Gutherson, with Drinkwater and Leniu being the reserves.
Do you reckon Phil was going for the theme? He wants to be worse than Canterbury now. So we've got three teams. He goes, I'm going to be worse than those three.
Some of these are confusing.
I think it's good.
Last week I said Gutho would make a great 14 because he's in the HIA era and all that. I think you need someone who can cover, as we've seen, right? But I don't know carrying another hooker on the bench as well. Especially when you got an 80-minute hooker there. I don't know. I would have rather have had another middle forward on the bench.
This is the thing that surprises me,
Spencer
right?
Leniu.
Jake Trbojevic has only played one game. So we're only carrying three forwards, three front rowers.
But it's Fittler's...
If he pulls an injury early like his brother did, we've only stuck with two props.
Campbell-Gillard's played 2 or 3 games after 2.5 months out.
Yeah.
It's a theme with,
If one or two of them get injured, what's going to happen? It's very risky. I would have carried easily another forward on the front row.
I think, and whether it's Gutho or whether it's someone else, I think you need to have a utility on the bench in the modern era because, like I said, HIAs and all that, it's common. But I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can carry a backup hooker as well because that means we only got 2 middles on the bench.
Yeah, and Cook and Reece can play 80 minutes, so you pick them for 80 minutes. If they get injured, Campbell Graham, what's his name? Cameron Murray can just slot in there. Someone can easily slot in there.
If it gets a utility player can cover hooker, right?
Easy.
But what about Bradman Best? That was left field.
I love his attitude though. He hates Queensland. I loved it.
100%.
And when I saw it, I thought that's the guys.
I thought
Tony
Tony Staggs. I thought it was going to be Matt Burton, but I honestly think he played his way out of it over the weekend.
No, not picking Matt Burton shows me 100% that Phil Gould is running the squad because he wants Matt Burton to play for Canterbury and he told Fittler don't pick him. So Fittler can't even pick the guys he wants because I'm guaranteed Fittler would have wanted him too.
Neither can Serraldo, but we'll get to that later. George, what are your thoughts on this blue squad?
I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
Isaiah Yeo on the bench?
I'm confused. I'm confused, Nicola.
I think it's either him or Murray. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, look, if I go through it, Teddy, there's no option. He had to be here. I had to be there. Toho's given. Crichton, I think he's playing well.
No, he's had a good series.
He's playing all right.
Yeah.
Now, Bradman Best, okay. I'm going to ask you, who's Bradman Best? Like, what are you going to get out? What does he do? What has he done? Because he had one good game.
Yeah.
Now I like it. Don't get me wrong. Now I like it. Okay, but if I was a coach, I would go for someone who I knew what he will produce on the day.
Does it reek of desperation to you though? Bradman Best? Is that a fair comment?
Can I be honest? I don't think whoever picked this team has much of an idea about rugby league. Honestly, in Origin, I pick players which I know what they're going to give me. Billy Slater has picked a team, and he knows exactly what everybody is going to do, and I'll just create a system to work around them. You have to do nothing more than what you do on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, now. I like Bradman Best, and I'm hoping he becomes, because he's got all the ingredients.
He's got the size.
Yeah.
Right?
He's got all the ingredients.
He's got the attitude.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I really, 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 really want that to be successful. But how about Panasini? If you're going to gamble with someone new, because that's what he's done.
I don't know if he's ready.
Okay.
I don't know if he's ready. Katoni Staggs for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. He gets bullied and pressured too much. We talked about Burton. You've heard me say this before.
Yeah.
I think he's the best centre in the game.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Okay. How about Tago?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's younger.
Now
than
I know
both.
what Tago is going to do. But you know what? Let's put that aside. I hope. Okay. Adekar's for me screaming about him last year. He shouldn't be in the team. That's my opinion.
I personally think with Adokar, I reckon he's there almost by default. I don't know who else you could pick.
Okay, given. Now we got the curl ball.
I'm surprised you said that about Bradman Best.
Why? I want him to do well.
Because we've been saying previously that we want players that are Origin players, not NRL players, Origin players. And I think Bradman Best is more of an Origin player than any other centre I've seen. He's got the hunger. He's got that. He hates Queensland.
He's got the size.
He's going to go in there and kill just for the state.
I hope so.
He's
I
going
hope so.
to go out there.
No, I
and
saw
perform.
that. But can you when you look at Jake Trbojevic, how he plays?
Yeah.
Okay, you know he's an Origin player. So you're telling me week in, week out, the last 4 years that he's been a first grader, you've seen Bradman Best and said, you know what? He's like Jake. You've seen it.
When I first saw him burst into the scene, I go, this guy's an Origin player. He just goes hard.
Fair enough.
He's been good, but honestly, I don't know anyone that saw that selection coming.
Oh yeah, it was a bit of left field.
Yeah, he didn't exactly. He didn't see it coming.
Now, Cody. Now, I'm a massive fan, and if New South Wales get as much ball as they had in the second game, Cody will put something on. Okay, Lulu, I had to go because jumping up and down on the spot. Okay, not creating. Okay, doesn't make you a top class 5'8". It works for Penrith. Penrith, we keep on saying it, a very unique situation. Never has been a team like this. Never will be a team like this. Okay, but you know what? I would have put Nico in.
Hines, yeah.
Okay, not only for what he can do, but for his confidence and for the future.
Exactly.
I think
that's my opinion.
He plays on the right side, right?
Doesn't matter.
I think because Moses is a right side player, he didn't want to have two right side players, that's why I think he's gone with Cody, because Cody plays left side.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, look, I like it. I want to believe
it's like two left feet.
I want to believe it. I believe it. Okay,
but Cody's had a great year.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I'm a fan.
I know that we shouldn't judge off, but in his last game, I think he's the only 5'8" ever to get hooked during the game, if you remember.
Yeah, look, I do want to bring it up,
but he's been a standout this year.
Sensational.
And that was 2-3 years ago. I mean, I reckon he's up for it. I personally, I would have liked to have seen Hines there.
I would have put Hines in just for what to reprieve myself. What I did to a poor young man. I heard him on SCN, and he said that I know I did the wrong thing. I wasn't good. Like he was taking the blame all upon himself. Guess what? You know what?
No, that's not fair.
When an impotent coach puts you on the 76th minute or whatever it was, okay, in the centres, okay, no. You're not to blame, Nico. You're not to blame.
See, I think the difference between him and Damien Cook, who faced the same thing, same situation for a whole game virtually, the difference in their approach to it is experience, right? Cook's been around a long time. He knows not to blame himself, whereas Hines... Yeah. Probably is blaming himself.
Yeah.
Well, he is, and you can tell on the field.
Yeah.
He hasn't been the same person since when he was playing with Cronulla. That's my opinion. Love Jake there. Look, love Cookie there, either or. Cookie is great. I'm a massive Reggie fan. I love Reggie there. I think it's a winner. Now, this back row is to die for. This back row is like, and for me, an instant orgasm. Martin, Kalatulangi, and Murray. This is what the back row should have been from game one.
How are they going to use Isaiah Yeo?
Now, for me, Isaiah isn't an impact player, so if he's not starting, he shouldn't be there. That's my opinion. Now, I'm intrigued to see how he's going to use him. Okay,
I would rather see Spencer Lenny on the bench.
I would too, but I suggest to you, he just picked the team and he hasn't thought about how to use them. Okay, but anyway, maybe he has.
He seems to have done that in the first 2 games too.
I think so. Track record shows us that. Okay, what Jacob Safidi, the human statue's doing there, he didn't even play good against Canterbury.
But can I ask you guys a question? We all know, and we're going to get to it. We all saw what Newcastle did to Canterbury, right? Let's say Newcastle lose that game 30 points to 12. Do Best and Saifidi get chosen?
I don't think so.
Because that's really if they deserve to be there, you'd have to answer that convincingly yes. But I can't.
I thought Saifidi, when he played for New South Wales, the last couple of games was fantastic.
That was his brother.
That was Daniel.
Was that his brother?
Yeah.
They're
Jacob and Daniel. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's
they're identical, I think. Yeah. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
The last time the Safidi boys played, they were sensational.
pretty good.
Maybe Fittler doesn't know the difference.
Maybe
he thought he picked the other ones.
Can I ask you a question, guys? Why wouldn't Junior Polo and Hudson Young get replaced by these?
Very strange.
That's what I found strange.
Strange.
I mean, for me, Junior, he hasn't been setting the world on fire with Origin. He's been playing really great at club level, but I don't know that I would have dropped him for RCG. I think it's a like-for-like swap.
But even for Saifidi, would you have dropped Polo for Saifidi?
No.
I wouldn't.
I mean, one of the comments was Paulo only played however many minutes. It was half the number of minutes that Payne Haas played. But that's not his fault. That's the coach. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, what did Hines play? 13, 14 minutes. Stefano
minutes.
Was dropped. He got 14 minutes.
Poor Stefano.
Right? He got 14 minutes. I mean, it's his Origin debut.
I've never seen a coach burn so many players in my life. Honestly, I can't remember. And please tell me if I'm wrong. I don't remember in a series a coach burning. Okay, and we're lucky that Cook is a mature player. He hasn't taken it personal, but I can guarantee you the others have.
Do you remember the Cattle Dog years?
Oh, of course I do.
Right? Tommy Rodonicus? Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, but he had Aaron Raper on the bench.
Yeah, he didn't use him
he didn't use him at all. Yeah. And that had never happened before. It was like, what? And apparently he admitted that he'd forgotten that he was there. Tommy wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, right? No. But now this thing's becoming common where these guys are getting 10, 12, 14 minutes. Yeah. To me, it makes no sense at all. It's pure maths. Whether it's NRL or Origin, you rotate your bench to keep the energy levels up. Yeah. And if you're not rotating your bench, you're stretching every other player.
Well, guess what? I suggest to you, okay, when our middle forwards are tired, okay, there'll be no thrust coming off the bench.
Isaiah is not that kind of player.
Reece can do it.
Reece is going to go in hooker.
Yeah, I think George. I think he'll be using the back row. Yeah, to be honest.
Then why don't we pick a back row?
I know. I'm with you. I know.
And guess what?
Absolutely.
Gutherson won't get on.
It's interesting because one of Fittler's comments post game 2 was, and everyone heard this. You can't cover every position on the field, but that's exactly what he's tried to do here. That's exactly what he's tried to do. He's got Robson at hooker or back row. He's got Gutho, which covers the back line. That's what he's done, and I don't know. I'm worried. I like New South Wales run on team. I'm worried about the bench.
Tell you what, if you want an X factor, Drinkie's just sitting. He's right there. But anyway, look, I'm confused. I don't understand it. I'll be intrigued. Next Wednesday. I'll be watching the game, and trying to understand how Brad thinks and how he's going to move his chess pieces around. I like the team. the first run-on team. I've got no issues with it. This should have been probably the team, the original run-on team.
Yeah, yeah. I like the run
with Cody.
Yeah.
With Cody. With Cody.
I
you know
like
what
the
mean?
halves. I reckon this is one of the best halves combinations.
Yeah,
for-
I don't disagree. I don't
Honestly,
disagree.
I like.
And I'm dying to see how he uses the bench. I don't understand it. I'm confused, but maybe I'm wrong.
I said it. I said on last week's show. I like Gutho at 14 because he can cover literally every position in the back line, and he's pretty much in career best form at the moment. He's playing really well.
He is.
You know what?
But I don't know. I wouldn't carry him if I'm carrying a hooker as well.
I just
It's
looked,
one or the other.
I just looked through the Queensland team, 13 plus.
Well, let's go through it.
13 plus.
Let's go.
13 plus.
No, man.
Let's go through it, okay? So at fullback, Billy Slater. No, I'm only joking.
Probably. Might as well be.
So Reece Walsh, who's been on fire, is suspended. Kalen Ponga is not playing. So we'll call in AJ Brimson.
Why not?
It just doesn't end, right?
Why don't you bring him along?
AJ's he's a fantastic player.
He is.
Sensational player.
So he's at fullback. Xavier Coates on one wing. Murray Taulagi on the other wing.
No Copo.
Not good enough.
Hey, and he had an absolute blinder.
Blinder.
Right?
He was the difference.
And he can't get into this team.
Yep.
Well, but we got Thingy, we got Talangi and Coates. We don't need him.
We got Valentine Holmes and the Hammer in the centres.
Hasn't the Hammer been good? God, he's been
He's just
He just keeps on improving.
Munster and DCE at 6 and 7. Ruben Cotter at prop. Big Tino at the other prop. Harry Grant at hooker. Fafita and Nanai back row. And Patrick Carrigan's the lock.
But this is the beauty. Keep on going.
The bench.
This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. So the roll keeps on going.
Yeah.
The roll's going to keep on going.
Ben Hunt. Lindsay Collins. Fatuiaka, I can never pronounce that properly, and Corey Horsburgh, Big Red.
Psycho.
And I'm when I look at 18 and 19, Tom Dearden's 18, the young Eels, Hopgood, youngster, he's the 19th man.
How good is he?
I was really surprised that Tom Dearden didn't get in. He's
Where
been,
would he go?
Where would you put him?
It's a good question, but he's just
Can't
been
put him
so
on the
good.
bench.
He has been, but
He's just so good. Did you see how good he was last weekend?
yeah.
But you can't put him on the bench.
No, you're right. I know.
He's picked the
DC,
perfect bench.
he's 34, so he's going to get his chance
Yeah.
very soon.
Very soon.
No, you're right. And Slater's done.
He won't play next year.
Slater's done what Fittler hasn't. He's gone with one hooker and three forwards.
Yeah.
That's perfect. This is the perfect balanced rugby league team. For me.
I don't see a weakness.
There isn't a weakness. There's no weakness.
I don't see a weakness.
There's no weakness. I just looked at the bench. You know what? You're only as good as your bench. And look at the bench. My Godfather.
Yeah, I don't see a weakness. And with all due respect to Freddy, I'm referring to the coaching as well.
Oh, my God.
Oh, forget about the
I heard
coaching.
Slater say something incredible. He said something like, I don't care about the win. I just picked a team of guys that are going to represent our state and do us proud. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, how good is this guy?
He goes, we don't talk about the result.
No. He said the boys have got a really big opportunity. It's up to them to show their legacy. You know what I mean? It's
Everything with that guy is about character. Everything.
and that's why it's going to be 13.
It's not about
You
running
don't know.
lines.
You never know.
It's not about running lines and doing block plays.
That's what they're doing.
It's about character.
The Blues are running lines and doing block plays.
Boys, I mean, we're going to get to our predictions later, but, for me, this is a tough one to tip because I think playing in Sydney is an advantage. I don't think they'll sell it out, to be honest.
It's sold down.
Is it?
Yeah, it's sold down.
Well, how many tickets have they given away?
About 50,000.
Yeah.
It's sold down. It's sold down.
But we'll get to our predictions later on. But can't wait for it, though.
I can't wait.
Can't wait for it.
Footy on
Should be good.
Wednesday. Love it. Footy on Wednesday.
Can't wait for it.
Big fan.
Let's jump into Controversy Corner. We've got a few things to talk about here.
Okay, sure.
Where we break down the current issues of the day. The big breaking news this afternoon at RLPA, Rugby League Players Association, they've slapped a media ban. Now, I don't know the details of what they're negotiating, but they're obviously not happy with the offer that the NRL's put forward. And they've slapped a media ban on all players for NRL and Origin being interviewed before, during, and after the game. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, I think, and if it's the same old about, medical for 10 years and this and that,
I don't know the details.
I think they're barking. I think they're barking down the wrong tree. I think they got to get around the table and get what they can, and it's probably going to be 50% of what they can get, and then the next bargaining agreement, which is in a few years, let's go a little bit more. That's how it's done. If you think you can grab the silverware and the kitchen table in one sitting, we all know that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Now they've got their money. That's what they want. They got their money. Now there's little bits and pieces around the skirts. They got the girls. Whatever the girls wanted, they got what the girls wanted. Okay. I think they're just making life hard. Now, I'm a fan of players. I'm not a fan of the league, because we all know how rugby league started, because and Super League, because they weren't getting enough pain. But I think they're okay at the moment. They're not bad.
They certainly can't complain in terms of. What scares me is the broadcast deal. Channel 9 predominantly fund the game.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel if you're them and Foxtel, right?
Yeah, I'm not happy.
Now the ban applies to both networks.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
You're going to do what now? You're not going to interview play. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're in breach of contract.
Yeah. Look,
exactly.
I hope Channel 9 and Foxtel.
This could get really ugly.
I hope it comes down hard on them, and
they get the lawyers involved.
and they.
It's a breach.
And I hope it trickles through to the players for them to understand. You know what I mean? You can't. Ask for this for the state. Get a city, get a town first, get another town, get another town.
They said this is. I don't know if it's just a bluff or not, but they said, and I'm sure they'd want to get it resolved before then. But they said this includes Origin, right?
Yeah, good on them.
Now I'm pretty sure. Now I'm not a lawyer, and I've not read a player's employment contract.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty certain media commitments are embedded into their contracts.
Of course.
Right. That puts them in. So you know what? They say, you know what? No worries. After Origin 3, we're not paying you. You breached your contract.
I hope they learn a lesson, and you know what? Clint Gutherson, I think it is. Is it? Who's the leader of the RP?
Oh, no, it's Clint
Newton. Sorry, Clint Newton. I think he's got it wrong.
Gutho's got his hands full, George. He doesn't have time for that.
Yeah. I think he's got it wrong. I think he's still bitter about losing a girlfriend back in the day.
Oh, well, wouldn't you be if you lost Jennifer Hawkins?
Yeah, I would actually.
Miss Universe.
Look, I don't know. Look, let's watch his space. Let's see what happens. I hope it gets resolved. They haven't resolved it all year, but I'm getting tired of
It'd be good to know what it's about, though. We don't know anything. We're in the dark.
If it's what it was originally, the biggest stepping point is the medical.
If you go to the...
they want 10 years and NRL's willing to give 5 years.
If you go to NRL.com, the official site, what the NRL offered is listed out in full. I just didn't have time to review it before we came on air.
Sure. Okay.
It broke late. So
And you know what? It's at right this moment, it's until they sort it out, it's null and void.
Mind you, that list, which is longer than my arm, was the list that got rejected.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. That's the list that got rejected.
Okay.
Look.
Last week we were talking about Holbrook and how it was a bit of a shock that he got the axe, and then we find out when things settle down that Big Tino and David Fafita had clauses in their contract, get out clauses with relation to the coach, which means they're both free agents now. I mean, I can't see Tino leaving. He's the captain as well.
Yeah.
I'd love to get him, but of course my club's never in the running. But Big Fafita, Canberra have offered him 4 years, $4 million. Artie, you were saying the Dragons are interested? I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of clubs.
I read something today that Flanagan's going to go hard for both. Not one, both, because they're cashed up. They've got the money.
I read today that 6 clubs are interested in Tino, but they didn't name the clubs.
Do you want to hear another rumour?
Yep.
Holbrook might be going back to, apparently he's from the Roosters. He was part of the Robbo's group.
Well, they need someone. They lost Riles.
So Robbo might get Holbrook in there, and if Holbrook's there, he might have some pulling power to get Big Tino. They need a forward over to the Chooks. they might use the Holbrook card, which is pretty smart.
Can you,
So that might be another good option for Tino. So it's not 100% certain they're going to be there next year. I know you've probably heard otherwise, but
no. What I can tell you, number one, I think it's ludicrous to put a condition on with a coach. I mean, Ben didn't have it, so why these two have got it? And Holbrook, from all coaches, Holbrook, I don't understand
It's
that.
an odd one.
If it was Super Coach, I get it. If it was Ivan, even I get it. But Holbrook, I mean, he's made once the semi-final. What did he do in England? Not much either, by the way.
but you got to
Anyway.
remember, it's about. Now, didn't he win a comp in England?
No. Oh, did he have St Helens in England? I think he had St Helens. Yeah, he must have.
But I think it's more about the personal relationships.
yeah.
Okay. Tino, captain of the club, and his brother playing there. It's going to be hard to move him.
I can't see him leaving.
Now,
But Fafita wouldn't surprise me. I mean, 4 years, $4 million bucks.
I'll tell you what surprises me if he does move. I mean, we heard stories about his girlfriend who went to Canberra? Well, over the off-season, the Titans have moved hell and mountains to get her back to the Gold Coast. Okay? So she just arrived at the Gold Coast 2 weeks ago. Now, okay, it means nothing. She could move as well again, but I mean, they've helped the guy a lot.
It's important to note we've heard nothing from the players' representatives. This is all from
exactly.
the other side, right?
Yeah.
But I'll ask you a question. When was the last time you went to the Gold Coast, you guys?
No, I haven't gone for a while.
A couple of years ago. Not
All
long
right.
ago.
So I was there in October to watch Kiss at their stadium. And a couple of weeks ago, I was in Canberra.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving the Gold Coast to go to Canberra. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Forget about it. That's just me.
I actually, you know what? I'll tell you something, and this will put it to bed. If Desi talks to him, game over.
That's the other thing. That's
Game
a
over.
huge.
Game over.
That's a huge bonus for the club. Desi coming in. I can't see them leaving. Maybe for Fafita because it's a long-term rich deal. Maybe.
I honestly believe, and this is how much I have this guy in regard. If he talks to him, game over.
Yeah,
They're not going
yeah.
anywhere.
I'll tell you what, mate. It's Desi has the right. You reckon's got the pull. You don't think Robbo's got the pull? To pull one of them? Of course
Yeah.
not. Honestly,
Do
you,
they
don't-
have-
you don't
do-
think Ricky Stewart's got the
Arthur,
pull?
do they have the
course
cap
not.
space, the Roosters?
They'll find it. And then you
course I
don't
do.
think Flanagan's not going to have some pull?
Of course I do, but guess what? They're there at the moment.
The
Yeah, I
Dragons,
know they're
You've got to
there.
get them out of
the
there.
Dragons
they're there.
they've got cap space, right?
They have. They've got
Yeah.
heaps of cash. And if they move Hunt along, they're going to have even more. So they can get
Yeah.
them both. They're going to play hardball. They're
Well,
going to go
they
to the
didn't- they-
Titans. You
they-
want Hunt? We'll get your captain. We'll swap captains.
They didn't leave when the last time they signed, which was a year ago, and apparently
It's the whole book.
elsewhere they were offered much more money elsewhere.
Yeah,
And they got Holbrook in such high regard.
they must
Well,
have.
because they got rid
must
of him so quickly and everyone thought it was a great job, Mel Meninga's offside, and now these two players might be pissed off. They might think, you know what, I don't want to play for this club. Cause you
It's-
don't know. You
it's
don't know
also
what's going on.
important-
But
It's also important to point out, sorry, George, that Gordon Tallis, who's on 360 every night now, he works at the Gold Coast, right?
Yeah.
He's confident they're staying.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
He was confident.
Yeah, but I mean, think of it this way, and Desi will tell him in the next 5 years they could win a comp. They're not going to win a comp in Canberra. The Titans
Could win a comp in Roosters.
yeah.
More chance of winning a comp in Roosters.
Right
Tino.
now, Canberra's in a better position than all those clubs.
I reckon.
Yeah. Bondi will be,
I reckon.
Bondi's a pretty nice place to live in, mate.
It's just
No,
better than Canberra.
No, I got you there. You got me there. You got me there, Nick. You got me
Uncle
there.
Nick's going to be hard going
Oh,
hard.
yeah. What comes
Yeah.
to Uncle Nick?
Don't forget they're getting rid of Lodge, immediate release.
Yeah,
They want to get
well,
rid of
they're
him.
getting rid of a
Brown.
few. They're getting rid of a few players.
Exactly.
Obviously,
That'd be interesting.
they might be letting the youngster go early.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Too early.
Look, I don't think they're going to be going, but hey, stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Ben went south, so
Now, there's a lot to talk about with the Bulldogs, right? But before we get into it, just another one. Phil Gould's made it public he's going after Payne Haas big time because from November 1, he's free
he's
to,
building with him.
he's free to negotiate for 2025.
Yeah.
But
of course
George,
he is.
talk to us a little bit. We all know what happened on the weekend, but talk to us a little bit about Gus had a press conference.
Yeah.
He deflected. I think he was protecting Serraldo. That's pretty obvious. I also don't know how, it is Serraldo's first year. I don't know how harsh we should be, but maybe you're
Should be
better
very-
placed to.
Well, we should be very
Talk
harsh.
about that.
How was it on the weekend? How they go? Really good. Have they improved this year?
No, they've gone backwards.
So they got 100. What was it? Negative 150 something. Yeah, you know what? The last time there was not Baz, Dean Pay. At the end of the year, they came 12th and they had 150 negative. You know what I mean?
Even Mick Potter did a great job. I mean, they've actually they did have a lot of injuries first half of the season, but they're in a worse position now with a better team, probably the best team they've had in 5 years.
Yeah. I did some research on this, George. Can I just wrong, and then you can go really hard on this, right? Because I've done a lot of research about this today.
I'm over angry now. The angriness is gone now.
Okay. One thing that Phil Gould said, right? He blamed Hasler and the way he left it, right?
A long time ago.
Now, 2017, Dogs finished 11th, 10 wins, 14 losses. They hired a guy named Dean Pay.
Yep.
Right? I'll give you a record about his stats, right? 2018, they finished 12th, 8 wins, 16 losses. Mm-hmm. And the year after, 2019, they finished 10th, which is what they finished in 17 before it started, with 10 wins, 14 losses. 5 of the last games, they beat Penrith, Tigers, Souths, Eels and Broncos. So he was getting somewhere in those last rounds, right? Dean Pay.
With no cattle.
Dean Pay with no cattle, right?
With no cattle.
Now, in that off-season, Ockenbaugh and Harawira-Nara were deregistered from the NRL. So he started the comp with 2 of his winger
I remember that.
and his back rower out. Look, out of nowhere, he started with 2 guys out for the season deregistered.
Pay had the worst roster they've had in the past 5,
exactly.
10
He
years.
had a bunch of Reggies.
Exactly.
Not 10 years, but past 5 years.
So after that finish of 5 wins out of 7, right, he only lasted till July the following year, right?
That's right.
And then they got, and they ended up finishing, pretty bad, right? After that, they finished last with 3 wins and 21 losses. So they went backhill big time with that Dean Pay. He was getting them, right? The year after that, they finished 12th, 7 wins, 17 losses. And so currently they're 5 wins and 11 losses. So Dean Pay was sort of improving a little bit, right?
Of course.
Now, let me tell you the roster. Let me tell you the back line you had under roster, right? The back line was Nick Meaney, Lesbian Act. We love our Lesbian Act.
Love our Lesbian
right?
Act, yeah.
Averillo, Montoya, and Remus Smith. Now, 4 of those guys have moved on and they're playing for teams in the top 8.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a better back line than this one? Carraz, Averillo, Alamotti, Adokar, and Param.
No.
Well, that back line would have cost you less because they were young and they would have been nothing. Yeah. So that's a pretty poor. Okay. Now,
I agree. Everything you're saying.
Your front row, right, back then with Pay, right, he had your front row was Tolman, Marshall King, Napa, Jackson, Elliott, Thompson, and Fatala Mariner. Not bad, right?
Okay,
and now this new defensive super coach, right? Who's he got now? Oh, man, I can't even find it. Where is it?
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, it's the current
doesn't matter.
one. So
you know what?
Dean Pay was getting him on a high and then they just dropped.
It's
and
like-
that's
I
under
agree.
Gould's watch.
It's also,
I agree.
I know that Kikau hasn't played much this season.
He's not going to save anything.
No, but, Kikau, Burden, Adokar, I think Pangai Jr., Reid Marnie.
He's building within.
These guys have
He's
played grand
building within.
finals.
Yeah, he's building within. That's why.
It's not an inexperienced squad.
yeah,
There is a lot of inexperience there,
yeah,
but there's a shitload of experience there too.
yeah.
Grand final winners, grand final players.
Nico, mark my words, okay? I'm pretty confident. I'm not going early here, okay? What he thinks he did, this is Gus Gould, what he thinks he did at Penrith, okay? He didn't, okay? He put pathways in. But I'll say it again, Penrith, a very, very, very unique place, okay? Nowhere in the rugby league world there's a Penrith. Okay, because if there was, okay, what I hear from St. George right this moment, they'll be stacked. Okay. So what he did, what he thinks he did, okay, he didn't do what he thinks he did. So he's gone to Canterbury, okay, thinking he's going to do the same thing with no junior base. There is nothing underneath.
I think he's trying to create that now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's buying youngsters from everywhere. So he's buying 14,
And they're doing well.
15-year-olders.
The junior grades are going well.
yeah,
They're
they
coming
are.
first and they're doing
Well, you know what someone said, that the Reggies, they're coming first. Yeah, they're good Reggie players. There are no youngsters coming through. They're good Reggie players. They're all in their mid-20s. They're a good Reggie team.
Well,
It's obviously frustrating being
Okay?
a Bulldogs fan.
Wait, that's number one, okay? So we go out to pick a coach, okay? Well, let's not get Flanagan because we can't control Flanagan, okay? Now, let's not get Madge. We can't control Madge, okay? Let's go and get Serraldo, okay? Because we can control Serraldo.
In that 15-minute press conference that I watched yesterday, there was a few questions around the playing group and all that, and Phil Gould's responses were, I can't remember exact names, but you can watch it on YouTube. They'll be back. They'll spend a couple of weeks in Cup, get their fitness back up. And, he's the youngster they bought from Brisbane to play 5'8", he's going to be playing lock. And I'm like, why are you telling us who's playing where and doing what?
I'm telling
That's
you
the
now.
coaches. Do you know what I mean?
I'm telling you now,
George, is it fair to say that Serraldo's doesn't have full control over what he's doing?
Come on,
No,
Nick.
because if that's the case, maybe it's not entirely his fault, right?
Well, okay.
If he's got one hand tied behind his back.
Well, the whole system doesn't work.
Because it's a Phil Gould thing. When Barrett was
Gould.
coaching, Gould went in there and ripped the players apart at training. We know that, right?
Fuck yeah. Okay. And not only Penrith. You know what? The Penrith that is a juggernaut is not created by Gus. I'll tell you now. Go and take Ivan away. Go and take Ivan.
He sacked Ivan.
Yeah, of course
he sacked Ivan.
Then
brought him back. Yes. Yeah.
So it's not. He put pathways. Guess what? Every fucking NRL club in Australia has got pathways now. What's the difference? Because Gould can backstab blood. How do you get Toby Sexton? All of a sudden we got Toby Sexton. He's in the contract, isn't he? Okay. All of a sudden, hasn't been speaking for months, have they? He made a phone call and Toby came over.
But to be fair, contracts they're
I'm
okay if both parties agree.
All I'm saying is backyard. He's really breeding within. He's bought half of Penrith. Okay, and how they going, by the way? Good. They're going really good, aren't they? Because when they leave the system, they don't go that well, do they?
Same.
It's not the players. It's the system. Trust me on that one. Okay. Serraldo, and let's say Serraldo, don't call him Mr. Popular because I want everybody to know who we're talking about. Serraldo will get sacked in 3 years because they'll be still in the bottom, okay? Gus is going to be scot-free. So I'm telling you he'll be scot-free because I didn't coach. No, I'm not a coach. I just try to put things together, okay? Okay, they'll disgrace on the weekend. Absolute fucking disgrace. It was heart-wrenching, okay? Booing.
We've all been. We've all been there. Talk to me about the booing.
Well,
they got booed off at halftime.
I can't believe
we've all been there. By the way,
I can't believe. Well,
exactly.
Right.
I can't believe. Yeah, but it's a little bit different. Okay. I can't believe that the media and even the players, okay, are upset about booing. Watch you dish up. All I need to see is effort. That's all I need. I don't care. Lose every game. If I see effort, okay, with Dean Pay's team, one thing I know, and we'll sit in together at Parramatta Stadium, right? Parramatta was playing Canterbury, and Parramatta, of course, they won, okay? But what I say, I've got no problem. They tried their heart out, okay?
They did.
As a fan, that's what you want to see.
Yeah. No effort.
Yeah.
No effort. Any team loses by 60 has no effort. Trust me. You know what I mean?
Did you see the post-match press conference?
Well, the only one I saw was Reid Marnie saying something stupid.
That's what I was about to say. And Serraldo tried to cover it up instantly. So I don't know if you saw it, Arthur, but Reid Marnie
on the bus.
He was asked about the booing, and he had a crack at the fans.
Yeah.
And Serraldo quickly jumped in and said, he's trying to say that our fans are really passionate and all that. I think it was a dumb thing to say by a frustrated player.
You know what? Yes, they're frustrated. Nicola, they're frustrated. But what players don't understand? Because they get so much money, they're in their Eiffel little tower, okay? There's some poor mug, okay, who, like I told you, in the morning wakes up and the first thing they think about is rugby league and the last thing they think about is rugby league, okay? And their mood is governed on how their rugby league team is playing. Not playing, how their rugby league team, what effort they're showing, Nicola, okay? When I see zero effort, because you know what? Rugby league is a very unique game because it's based on effort.
Yeah.
It's based on motion and effort, okay? And if you're a little bit bigger and a little bit quicker, guess what? You're good, okay?
Another thing, what I said to you earlier tonight, and Arthur obviously plays soccer as I used to, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Even at the level that we play at, we've all been in that situation where you're losing 5 or 6 nil, and in soccer you just coast and wait for the whistle, you know. But in rugby league, you can't do that. You have to make tackles. You have to physically. You could be losing 36 nil.
Yeah.
You know the game's out. You just want to get out of there.
36.
But you have to physically
But Nicola,
front up and
Exactly.
make tackles.
But-
Like that's got to be so
Nicola,
difficult.
I know.
You know,
36-0 for me isn't a flogging if you're giving it a go. But
Yeah.
66-0 is a flogging, and you're a disgrace. You're not a first-grade rugby league player. Okay, they're diabolical, and I'm telling you now, what he's trying to do, he's not going to do because his time's past, Mr. Gould. Okay, he's got the wrong coach. Okay, what can Dean Pay do with half of Penrith? I wonder.
I mean,
Because that's what we're going next year. We're going to have half of Penrith.
we're not talking about Mick Potter either. He did a wonderful
Get
job last
Pottsy in
year.
there. Pottsy done sensational.
He's there in the background.
He's there in the back.
But again, you got Phil Gould there. You shut up.
You know what was even
You
more.
shut up. Go away.
You know what was more scary about the 66-0?
What's that?
Now, the Parramatta Eels had some forwards out injured. Canterbury only had 2 guys out. That was nearly their full strength team. Apart from Kickow and Luke, that was the best you're going to get of Canterbury.
let's-
And you had so many
and it
injuries.
was against Newcastle.
And it was 66-0.
It was
Wait
against
a
Newcastle.
minute.
Third last versus
Gus-
fourth last.
Yep.
Nicola, Gus goes on about, it's a rebuild. It's going to
It's
take
injuries.
a long time.
You mentioned injuries too.
Injuries wrong. Wait a minute. How many teams have we seen come second last? Okay, and the other year, they're Parramatta are in the top 8. Wait a minute. You lost what? How many players last year? Your whole back row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, more than your back row.
Hmm.
Okay, but guess what? You're looking. I think you've got more of a chance this year.
Well, don't forget.
Okay, than
but
last
don't
year.
forget, we struggled in the first 10 games of the
Yeah,
first half of
yeah,
the season.
yeah,
we
struggled.
weren't doing well at all.
Yeah, we've struggled. We
Yeah.
struggled the first. What round is it?
Yeah, I know.
And last year, and the year
I
before,
can't
and the year
wait
before.
to hear what he says when we talk about the Tigers.
Okay, they're more. They're disgraces as well. Okay, so you know what? We'll leave this because we can't go on and on about it. But I'm telling you now, they're on the wrong track. Okay, he's a snake. He's a charlotte. He sells fucking snake
He's a
oil
good
people
salesman.
too. He's a great salesman, right?
He's a great
and guess
talker.
what? This one is going to burn him.
I
This
think-
one here is going to burn
I
him.
think,
Because guess what? Penrith, doing it at Penrith, okay, he had every advantage. Guess what? He had the best kids in the world there. He had
Yeah.
the best rugby league players. And you know what? If Penrith, the team, those players, were playing rugby union, they'll be the best rugby union players in the world as well. Okay. Okay, so guess what? He had everything going for him.
I
Okay.
think. I mean, look. There's nothing worse than being embarrassed like that as a player, right? This weekend, Souths are missing. Obviously, the Trolls out.
yeah.
You know, Cameron Murray, Cody Walker, Kalama Tungi, Damien Cook. The Bulldogs. They don't have to win, but they have to show something.
Show some effort.
Yeah,
Show
they don't
some
have to win, but they've got to show something.
You guys don't know how much you guys are hurting people. You know what I mean? Effort. Don't win. We want to see effort. Use actually mentally scarring people and use hurting emotionally. Use hurting people. It's so true. You got no idea how we wake up. You know what I mean? I was stunned all Sunday evening. You know what I mean? You know, and then I got angry, and then I got. Now I'm calm. Okay, I feel cheated. Why should I care? Why should I care? Why should I care about you guys? You obviously don't care about us.
Yeah.
So go ahead, do what you're
I
doing.
mean, I've only been doing that for 32 years, but anyway.
Can I ask just a quick question? But do you think maybe he's lost the dressing room this early?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's.
66-0.
I don't see that. I don't see that.
You know what? I don't think he's lost the dressing room because I actually think Serrato's a good coach. I really do.
okay.
What I hear, what I've seen, I actually think he's a good coach. We will never know because Gus is coaching.
I would like
Okay?
to see.
Don't think the Serrato's coaching.
I would
Gus is
like. I
coaching.
would like to see Serraldo without being. And we're assuming he's being shackled.
Well, not assuming.
yeah,
we
I-
know.
yeah,
There's no question here.
I'd like to see him. I lost the part of my microphone. I'd like to see him do it without Gus behind him.
Apparently, Gus tried to talk him out of the first year. He said, "Look, it's going to be."
He
a hard
says that
job."
now. He didn't
says
say it
now.
a year ago.
Exactly.
You
At the
know?
start of the year, the Dogs were tipped to finish around the 8,
Yeah.
fringe 8.
Well, I mean,
I knew
they
that.
were.
What did I
Yeah,
say?
I mean,
you did.
I
said
honestly,
second last, third
I
last.
thought 11th, 12th for sure. I thought.
They could still do it. You don't know. There's
Look,
still 10
George,
rounds or
I can make you feel better in 3 seconds.
What's that?
The Tigers lost 74-0.
The Tigers lost 74.
And I feel, and I've got a lot of friends who are Tigers fans.
At least they played fucking North Queensland, which is the top 4 team.
I've got a
we
lot of-
played a
I've-
bottom 4 team.
I've got a lot of friends who are Tigers fans. Obviously, I live in Concord, and it goes past the joke of the whole footy thing, watching your mates' teams lose, win, whatever, it goes past that. I don't want to see anyone. I feel for them.
That was disgraceful.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing, and someone's got to pay the price. Someone's got to pay the price.
And I've seen my team
there.
lose 68-0 in 95, and I'll never forget how that felt. That's just like diabolical, man.
There's a problem there. There's a deep-seated problem. What is the problem?
But
you don't lose 70, whatever.
I know, but you know what, guys? You keep forgetting that 6 weeks ago they beat the same team 66.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
18.
That's even worse.
Did you hear
that's the thing, the big anomaly. Like, how did that happen?
Well, did you hear what the commentator said during the game?
Yeah.
Can't remember who it
Biggest
was.
turnaround.
He said the whole week of training, whether it was in the change rooms, in the gym, or on the field, everywhere the Cowboys went, there were big signs up, 66 to 18.
But what?
Exactly.
West knew that.
No,
They knew that.
I know.
Yeah,
They
I
knew
know.
exactly what was coming.
I know.
You know what? If West lost 46 to 12, okay, and they showed effort,
We wouldn't be talking about
there's
it.
there's no conversation.
Don't you reckon the Cowboys got some really dazzling tries?
Oh,
they
beautiful
were pretty
Tom
good.
didn't.
But when you're
Jeez, that step.
They were pretty
Hey.
special, man.
what did Drinkie? Did you see the interview after the game? What Drinkie said?
No.
He goes, it was like an post session. It was like an opposed session at training.
And you know the other thing, and
Where
I
you
know-
don't have to get tackled.
Yeah.
I know-
Don't underestimate the Cowboys. Though.
I know.
Oh, you know,
They're
you know what I said
phenomenal.
about the Cowboys. They're going to make the grand final.
I know you can't say it when it's 74-0, but the metaphorical bounce of the ball, like the fingertips, everything just went their way
Oh,
as
it
well.
did. Absolutely, yeah. for sure.
Who's the problem?
They
What's
were
the
on
problem?
fire.
Who's the problem? What's the problem there? That's my question. What's the problem?
So
We know the problem at Bulldogs.
So let's bury something very quickly. Rumours came out that Benji was going to take over a year early. The club's come out and said it's not going to happen. So
It's
bury
not?
that. No, the club does not. That doesn't mean it won't, but that's the official stance from Mr. Hadjipentalis.
Yes.
Mr. Hadjipentalis, did you hear what Buzz said?
Which part?
Buzz?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, which part?
I'll tell you what Buzz said. Let's hear what Buzz said.
I've read and heard things like
Sorry, I pressed the wrong one.
diabolical.
Of course I did.
The Titans were dudded.
That's all right. Mrs.
Unbelievable.
Annesley. No.
The worst call of the year. That Jamal Fogarty deliberately stopped in front of Fafita. That Fafita just brushes past him.
Let's talk about that for a moment. That was the
Can we
bunker.
please?
Yes.
Can we please? Sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
That's all
I'll
right.
press the other one.
I've been saying
next.
it all year. It shits me to tears that he comes out every Monday and does that.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's too late. It doesn't help the team that got dudded.
You know what? I told you this before. Imagine this, Ari. Okay, you wake up in the morning, you have breakfast, you go to Homebush. Okay. You go in a round circle. You go on the ground. You get training on refereeing. Then you go into the video room about on your game and what you did. Then you go to the video. What's it called? The bunker. So you do bunker training. Okay. And you know the top referees. I'll give you $500,000, and the lower ones, the guys with the flags, get $250,000. Okay, so that's your job. Okay,
Wow.
Okay, and how many cameras are in the bunker?
9.
They've got 9 cameras in the bunker. Okay, then this clown comes out every week. Did you see the incident?
Yes.
It was a disgrace. Okay, if it was a kick who went a little bit higher, it would have been an escort. Okay, now Fogarty went in front of him. Okay, stopped. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to run into him because he made him run into him. Okay.
There is a footage of him grabbing
Yeah,
that
absolutely
jumper.
there
Yeah.
is. Absolutely, but I don't really care. That was a wrong call.
It
that
was.
the
I
wrong
agree,
call.
yeah.
But that's not what worries me. Okay. By the way, they lost the game because of probably because of that try.
points, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But forget that. What I hate is this clown comes out and calls us all these things that he just said. Not only what he says, we apparently bring the game in disrepute because we
do.
speak about and the media because we speak about the referees. We should blast the referees. Okay, they're professionals, aren't they?
Yes.
They get paid to be the best they can.
Yeah.
What would you do? What will happen if you went to work and underperformed?
I know.
You get sacked.
Yeah.
And you don't make $400K, do you?
Exactly.
I can fix the bunker problem and I can save them $2 million. The cost, however much it costs, I can fix it instantly. I've said it before. If I was in the bunker,
Listen to Ray Hadley.
I'll just have Ray Hadley on the radio, and whatever he says, I'm doing. Because at least if I get it wrong, I'm not going to get slammed.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They should get audio from the commentators from Fox and that,
Yeah.
and just agree with what they say.
That's
Because if they do that, there won't be
That
controversy.
is what I would be doing, right or
Exactly.
wrong.
You
we've
know
got to.
what? I'll tell you what annoys me, and you guys over the years have gone on about referee calls, and I always say that, you know what, a game's not really going to get lost over a referee call, and if you do get one, you lose one, and then you win one.
But it evens itself out.
This year, it's changed.
But-
Referee calls change momentum of games, number one, and then at the very, very top of the point, things like this happen where games get lost over referee calls. Now, I hope it's not a semi-final, and it is going to be.
I'll tell you
It
what,
is going to
I'll
be
tell you
very
what-
soon.
I'll tell you what really bugs me, and you just reminded me because I did want to bring this up. Just a side note as well. This year, I'm not so much blaming the referees as much as I am the bunker. A lot of these calls are coming from the bunker. And I think referees are scared to make decisions now. But just backtracking for a sec, I went to the
Sorry,
game.
what did the referee call it? Did he call it a try before it went
Originally.
I can't remember.
Originally a try, yeah.
Okay, sorry. What were you going to say?
I went to the footy a couple of weeks ago, Para Manly. Para won quite easily, but they also had 4 or 5 disallowed tries. And don't get me wrong, they weren't tries, right? Which is fair enough. But what really pissed me off the most was that when you're there, sitting in the crowd, they score the try, the referee awards it, everyone's hugging, blah, blah, blah. Moses was out because it was Origin round. So Gutho's doing the goal kicking on the sideline. He's got the ball down. He's standing there. Literally 3 or 4 minutes has passed. And then the referee does this.
Yep.
Stop. The crowd's just been cheering for a few minutes and just deflates everything. Because the second that happens, you know it's being disallowed, right?
Yeah.
And they were the right calls upon watching replays. So I don't have an issue with that. Why does it take so damn long?
Yeah.
Like, don't let the crowd celebrate for 3 or 4 minutes. The guy's waiting to kick the conversion and everyone's got to stop and walk away.
Yeah.
It just takes too long. Like 3 or 4 minutes, literally.
Yeah.
It's too long.
I still don't.
And you feel it
understand.
more when you're there than when you're watching it on TV. Because TVs, they jump to ad breaks and whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're there, you're like, you've just sat down again. You know what I mean? And that happens.
I see your point about the referees. I don't excuse them, but most certainly the bunker and Adi knows last year I was going off as well at the chip. Okay, they drive me crazy.
And the touch judges, the fans with flags, they literally play no
They're
role.
nothing.
Yeah.
They're
Forward
nothing.
passes, they just don't see them.
$250,000 down the drain on each of them.
Man.
And the decisions we always talk about on the show are always the ones where the bunkers overrule the ref. So the referee is actually correct, and we've all agreed with the ref. But they've caused the controversy because I just didn't agree with him. You know what I mean? Like all they had to do was just
Ludicrous.
No, the referees have, it's not like the old days where we had Bill Harrigan, Tim Mander, Eddie Ward, really good referees. And they all made mistakes because that's normal.
yeah.
But
Make
these
mistakes.
days, the referees, they're afraid to make a call because
Because they've got no balls.
they've got the they've got the bunker behind them. You know, it's frustrating.
The bunker should not make if they have to look at a replay more than 2 times or 3 times, and then that's it. Just go with whatever the ref says.
Also,
it's too easy.
also
Super slow,
in
man.
soccer,
Super slow.
in
man.
soccer,
Stupid.
in soccer, it's a different setup,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But they look at offsides, they look at goals.
yeah.
You know, the bunker should just be try-scoring situations or foul play off the ball, I
Yeah.
reckon. And that's it. That's it. You've seen situations where something, I mean, I'm just going to make up an example. Someone will knock the ball on or something, knock on, captain's challenge, right? The team is challenging the decision,
Yeah.
so they're hoping they get the ball back. During that challenge, they actually find something else and end up penalising the team that took the challenge up.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? You're supposed to be looking at that one incident,
Yeah.
not what happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
And the bottom line, sorry, Nick,
No, you're
sorry, Artie. The bottom line is a referee decision, a bunker decision, is going to decide a game is September,
yeah.
Always does.
and a team training from November, hard. Okay,
Always said it.
and they're gonna lose out. It's a disgrace. And you know what, Annesley, I am sick and tired of of them telling me and
Groundhog Day every Monday.
that I've got no idea and I'm bad for the game and I've got it pisses me off, and I hate the journalists how they're telling me that I've got no idea, or players like Reid Marnie who arc up about us booing. He's lucky we didn't throw bottles.
I tell you, that guy there, he started off the year like a house on fire, right? Now I don't know if it's coincidental or not. He's still leading the missed tackles.
Yeah.
He's in the 80s now, right?
Really?
Yeah. Look at the NRL website. Followed by Ezra Mann, who's second, which was surprising.
Well, man.
Now I don't know if it's coincidental or not, but Marnie was playing really, really well. When you guys played the first game, sorry, I'm laughing. When you played the first game against Parra, he had a shocker, and he's just slid downhill since.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's trying too hard. I don't know if
He's trying too
the
hard.
team around him. The thing is with tackles, I don't know. For me, trying too hard is kicking out on the full or mistiming runs or overplaying plays. But tackling, that's attitude.
Yeah.
That's not trying too hard. Missing tackle. Maybe he doesn't have the same defenders around him that he did last year, which is why he's missing more tackles.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
don't know.
I know that they need to do something. But George, going back to the Tigers, you were talking about bugs. How
So,
about pressing the right button?
Before we go there, can I just go back to before what you
Yeah.
said about the soccer? Because I just wanted to say something before.
Yeah.
The difference with soccer and rugby league is the video technology is there to assist the referee. The referee's got full control.
Yes.
With the rugby league, the referee hasn't got control. The bunker has got the control, and the referee doesn't.
So-
and that's the difference.
so to clarify-
the control needs to
yeah.
go to the referee.
That's a great-
He should be overruling.
That's a great point, Arthur. So to clarify for any fans who don't
Exactly.
watch soccer, it's a VAR,
Yeah.
video assisted referee, bunker, whatever you
Yeah,
want to call it in soccer. They'll ping the referee and say, "Hey, we need to look at this," right? And sometimes they make a call and tell the ref, but most of the time the referee runs to the sideline, watches the replays himself on the screen,
Yep.
Oh,
runs
brilliant.
back onto the field, makes a call, and you know
Brilliant.
what? It's done in 30 seconds.
But you know what? I've seen the VAR in soccer overrule the ref, I think, once.
Yeah.
And that was the best use of technology I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because what happened was the ball was there, a player was here, far away from the referee, and hit one of the guys behind play. So the referee had no chance of seeing it. But the VAR acted up because he picked it up like it was something that was
Foul-
blatantly obvious.
What did I say
foul
before?
play,
Foul play off the ball.
which is fantastic.
It's applied with common sense.
Exactly. It wasn't controversial, nothing, straight away. And everyone agreed with it at the end. It wasn't talked about
And
after
it's
that. That's it. He deserved it.
it's over in under a minute.
Exactly.
None of this 3-4 minutes bullshit.
Exactly.
Then why haven't we looked at that and tried to implement that?
Because they want the bunker to have the full control.
Because that's what they do at the NFL as well, isn't it, Artie?
I think so, yeah.
The referee goes and watches it on
He has the
on
final
side.
say. It's up to him what he says at the end. They've got to be
And you know what?
100,000%
All
sure.
they have to do is turn around and watch a big screen.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Which by the way, soccer doesn't have. Those
They don't have
soccer
big screens.
stadiums, they don't have we've
They
got
don't
the big
replay.
screens.
They don't replay.
You know we've got the big screens here in stadiums.
yeah.
They don't. They've got the score on the big screens.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In most cases, yeah.
And even when that's true. But also they don't replay a lot of the incidents, so the crowd can't focus on that incident.
Yeah.
They won't. If you keep looking at the same thing, you're going to find it.
Of course
you
But
are.
if you don't, if you look at it once or twice, you.
But
you won't
that's
look
what I
twice.
feel like the bunkers always. It's almost that they're looking for
Yeah,
a
yeah,
reason
they're
to
looking,
not
they're
give the
looking.
try.
Of
That's it.
course.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
it gets sent up.
They're making it hard for
them.
themselves. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
They should. They're making themselves in the spotlight when they shouldn't be. But anyway,
George,
sorry.
press the right button.
So what Buzz says?
Yes.
Let's see what Buzz says. I hope I get it right this time.
Now, George,
Oh, no.
I've spoken to the Tigers.
Yep, I think we better move on because I don't know
No
what
good.
super.
Do you
For
remember?
way too long. They've been struggling for years now. They played a few good games in a row there. We thought they were coming out of it and they could see the light, and now they are back in a dark hole. Who takes responsibility for this?
Well, I think Reedy and me will disagree again because I blame Tim Sheens in that he came back after a 10-year NRL break and losing 3 jobs in England to take on this side, and they've gone backwards ever since.
So it's not Pascal and Hadji Ben tell us.
Well,
listen to the podcast, or how about you go and have lunch with him, Buzz, and you'll find out that he didn't actually get sacked from 3 jobs. Number one, number two, because Hadjin Pentelis is one of your friends, Buzz, one of your good friends, and you're sticking up with him. I think you're wrong. I think the only constant at the Tigers is Hadjin Pentelis, okay,
And Pascoe.
Now, the fish rots from the head. Make no mistake about that, okay? Now, if you honestly believe that Benji and Tim Sheens, how many comps has he won, Nicola?
3.
3, okay. How many? Yeah, I wonder how many Golden Globes, whatever Buzz has got. All he does is stir shit up.
Buzz was also at that lunch where the idea was first floated.
Yeah, he was. He was.
For Sheens to take the
He
role.
was. He was, and he makes it out. He makes it out like he really wanted the job. Listen to the pod, and you'll find out. Listen to James Graham's pod. Okay. I think Buzz is wrong. I think the problem is both of them, Hadjin Patel. But you can't get rid of. They can't sack themselves, can they?
What was the truth about Tim Sheen's own England? What was his career?
I think he got sacked from one club.
He got sacked from one, or
No.
did he say? What did he say on the pod?
No. One went. He was coaching Salford, and they got relegated or something like that. And he gave them a way out. A way out, you know what I mean? You don't have to pay me big dollars to do second division, you know what I mean? So that happened. Then he went somewhere else.
Yep.
Okay, now I can't remember. I won't lie to you.
So he didn't get sacked from 3 clubs.
He didn't get
Absolutely.
He got sacked from one.
I don't even think he coached 3 clubs.
No, he didn't. He was from one. He was
Coaching
director, whatever.
I think it's the way that club's been run. You can look at this year's results, but look at the last 10.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
It's the top of the food, Pascoe and Hadjin Pentelis, and the fact that they're in such denial all the time. Hadjin Pentelis came out and said, "Keep the faith and be patient." Well, they've been patient for 12 years.
Yeah.
So I think when the Dragons won the comp or the following year was the last time the Tigers have been in the semis.
It's been a while.
Nicola.
Half of the comp makes the semis.
Yeah, Nicola, think of it this way. Think of it this way.
They
Okay?
finished 9th a few times. Anyway.
Yeah, they did. Think of it this way. Hadjin Pentelis was feeling like he was losing control or power, so he went without telling anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, and got his own recruitment manager.
We spoke about that last week.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, whose problem is it?
Yeah.
They didn't even know. They argued about Brooks. If Benji goes, he says, "I want Brooks." Well, okay, you want Brooks? I'll make it happen.
Benji wanted Brooks. Benji went after Moses. Benji was interested in Hunt. He went after Sean Johnson. Benji's trying to get the right players over there.
Yeah.
He's trying to do it. And you know what? He doesn't need Fulton to do that.
Well, I noticed Fulton's bringing his nephew into the club as well. They just signed him.
The Tigers play tomorrow night, and what I said too about the Dogs, they've got a chance tomorrow night. I'm not sure. I can't remember who they're playing. I'll have a look, but
Cronulla.
they don't have to win. They just have to turn up.
That's right,
for
mate.
their fans,
You're right.
Let's move into our done and dusted segment, the round that was.
Sure.
Round 18. Artie, what happened?
Oh,
Thursday night, Sharks 52, Dragons 16.
I know I'm going to sound like a sore puss here, but I honestly think the first half Saints were in it. I was proud of their effort.
It was close, wasn't it?
But then the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the referee was just caning them for 6 against, until they literally scored to make it. It was 18-10 before these 6 against were hitting. And they had they finished with 25 sets to 15. They were gassed second half.
Yeah.
And they just fell apart. But they put in a good first half, but it was pretty embarrassing in the end, which was a shame. Nico Hines, he just controlled the game. 3 try assists, line breaks, 118 metres. He was really good. Can't believe that performance didn't get him an Origin jersey, which was sad. And that's all I have to say
I
about
honestly
it, man.
wount read into it too much between now and the end of the season. If I was a Dragons fan, I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah, I was disappointed, but Ben Hunt had a really bad game, but
he's distracted.
Well, you know what? He didn't train all week because he had the flu. So why'd they play him?
And he came off Origin as well.
Yeah, I know. They shouldn't have played him anyway. I think they were relying him too much.
When Munster didn't play for Melbourne, in the press conference when they were asked about it, Christian Welsh said he's got Caxtonitis. Maybe Hunt had
I
the
like
same
Welshie.
thing.
He's
Yeah,
funny.
he's good. He's good.
Good value.
You know, Parramatta came that close to signing him.
Yeah.
And he
Good
did
buy.
his ACL.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wish they'd still gone ahead, but they pulled out of the deal.
shame.
Saints were chasing hard for himself years ago.
Rabbitohs 28 over the Warriors 6. A little bit disappointing, George, considering how good the Warriors been going, but Souths were good.
Disappointing, but let me tell you a few things. Rabbitohs, the first 10 minutes, I knew they were going to play well. This was Ilias's best game of his career. He kicked well. He tackled like a demon. Okay, so words must have been said, like I suggested last week.
I think so, yeah.
At
To
training,
all of them, yeah.
To training. You know what? The minute it was wet and muddy, okay, and these South forwards just kept on
It's terrible
rolling.
weather. Yeah.
And it was in New Zealand too. You think it would be
Yeah.
an advantage to them?
It was
Well,
sold out.
Well, what Warriors have been doing successfully is hitting the edges. They've been going forward, but
Yeah.
as we know, the lesbian act's been scoring tries like
He's having his best season I can remember.
So they didn't get the leverage in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. And Souths just kept on rolling that middle. Just kept on rolling and rolling and rolling the middle. Okay. Ilias had a whale of a game. They pinged it out. The New South Wales Cody done his thing, and off we go. The score, I don't think actually indicated the game. I think the Warriors were a bit closer than they were, but disappointed from the Warriors.
It's a classic story, but isn't it? You have to win the battle in the middle
Disappointed from
if
the
you want to
Warriors.
win the game.
Warriors scored the first point, 6 points,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
South went 28 points. But one thing I wanted to point out in that one,
Go.
Rabbitohs lost Campbell Graham pre-game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they brought on this young kid called Tyrone Munro,
Yes.
who ended up having a great game. On his debut, he scored a try, set up one, made a couple of try assists. So it's a great debut for a youngster. So they've got some good guys coming through.
Campbell
Which is good.
Graham was on absolute fire, but he's had some real terrible
Yeah,
luck
he's
with injuries
been-
the last
been
5-6
injured.
weeks.
That's a shame, eh? And Warriors haven't beaten South in Auckland since 2012, so it's been 11 years, man.
Wow, that's interesting.
Wow, there you go.
Storm were leading too
Yes.
against the Panthers
Yes,
for 14-0,
14-0.
and they lost 34 points to 16.
Ooh, imagine being in the dressing sheds after.
I think this game shows us where the Storm is, and definitely shows us where Penrith are. Storm were prepared mentally and physically. They came out and they were going to do a number on Penrith, and Nico, they jumped up to level 9 and they were doing the number, but Penrith showed no panic. They just kept on falling into their systems. It got to 16-0. They just kept on falling into their systems. Then a change was made. Spencer Linu came on, and the back rower. What's that back rower's name? Adi?
Which one?
I forget now. But anyway, I forget now. And all of a sudden, there was a thrust in the middle. Okay, and
Sorensen?
sorry.
Was it Sorensen?
No, the other one, the young guy.
Zach Hosking?
No, the other one again.
Chris Smith?
Is it Smitty? Probably is.
Yeah.
Anyway, and all of a sudden, when they start getting that roll, and Storm dropped a little bit, Nicola. Not much. They dropped a bit. Okay, it was good night, Charlie. He was on the bench. It was good night, Charlie, mate. Lindsay Smith, you're right. When he's a very good youngster. I don't know where they found him, but Lindsay Smith, Zach Hoskin, and Spencer Linu, when they come on, they just create this wave, Nicola. And mate, I'll say it again. I'm going to be very short and sweet. And in the presser, Ivan said it as well. The star tonight was the system. He said, the star tonight was the system.
Well, you keep alluding to it.
It's the only team. Everybody's trying to have a system. We're trying to get the Penrith system, but
It's always every year. It's always the way everyone tries to copy the teams that are
can't
doing
do
well.
it. Well, Freddy tried very hard.
Yeah.
Now the next game we already touched on the
Just quickly, mate, just wanted to add, that was Penrith's fourth win in 20 attempts in Melbourne. They've only beaten them
Really?
4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't was aware of
That's
that.
pretty freaky. And that Isaac Targo, he was fantastic.
Yeah,
That was his
yeah.
third double in 2023. So.
I think he's a special human being.
I think so too.
And you know what?
Guess what? I think Canberra got the wrong centre.
I think so. And you know what? I think so as well. I think so. And then next year that kid's going to come back with who's done the
Taylor
ACL.
Taylor
Taylor May's going to come back and
who?
and yeah, and then who cares? Then there'll be Credo who?
Another one on the market.
Credo who?
Raiders 26, Titans 22.
Someone told me about it
Cracker game.
because it was a good game. It was a good game. It was a very good game.
Yeah, no, it was good.
What do you got?
Look, I thought the Titans were the better side.
I think so
They were
too.
very unlucky.
I think so too.
And we had that controversial moment, which we all spoke about earlier. But yeah, I thought it was a great game. But
does that tell you something about
cracks there? And
the
I thought so
year?
for Titans.
Does that tell you something about the year that the Raiders are having? They're winning ugly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It does. Yeah,
Canberra
yeah.
plays a very
And they're flying under the radar too.
Yeah.
They play a very simple game, a power game through the middle, Nicola, and they're making their tackles. Hopefully not like last year, and they're kicking their goals. And like Adi said, I thought Titans were the better team in general play. But you know what? They scored 22 points, and Canberra scored 26, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
And
I enjoyed that one.
It's always my favourite quote from any coach before they interview the coaches before the game. What do you guys have to do to win or not? Well, we need to outscore our opponents.
That's the
No
one.
shit.
That's the one.
No shit. That's how you win.
That's the one.
Cowboys 74, Tigers 0.
Oh,
Pass.
do we need to talk
What's
more
there?
about this?
There's really not much to.
Well, look, they broke a record, didn't they? The
They broke
Cowboys'
a
highest
record.
score.
They broke a record.
They 42-0 is the highest in the club's history.
They broke a
halftime
record.
score. Drink water.
Yeah.
Did
broke-
they were
So,
fantastic,
so
honestly.
Parramatta broke that halftime record the week before, but
Yeah.
the Cowboys eclipsed it a
Exactly.
week later. Yeah.
Exactly. Start of the year, we were saying how close all the games are. Now we're saying how far they are.
Look, the team's getting a little bit tired now.
Yeah,
and
they are,
It's
big
separation. Look, Adi's right. Canberra, Cowboys, I don't know what happened at the start of the year, but I think they're
Becoming good.
I think they're well and truly back.
They had a lot of injury disruptions too.
Drinky, was it injury?
Yeah, they had quite a few players out.
And I think the players who've gone to Origin and come back
Better.
look better play. The only problem is Drinkie's a New South Welshman.
Yeah.
So he's in the New South Wales squad, so he'll come back the lesser player, probably.
Well, at least we know who'll get a run at centre or prop.
He'll get a set
He'll put him for 12 minutes at prop,
Yeah,
and then he'll drop
prop,
him because he didn't.
Look.
The less said, the better about that game.
West were a disgrace.
Oh, terrible.
They're a disgrace.
The Broncos 24, Dolphins 16.
Great game.
It
Great
was.
game. And you know what? It's established a local derby, a true local derby. And I don't expect to see a blowout for a long time. And it's 2-0 for Broncos. But you know what? Dolphins, they weren't that far away.
The Dolphins have had a couple of
They
blowouts,
weren't that far away.
but this right here is what you want. What we're talking about. If you're a Tigers fan, if you're a Dogs fan, this is what you want to see.
Effort.
You don't
Exactly.
mind losing, but you just want to see the effort.
Do you want to hear a good effort by the Dolphins? They lost 24-16, let me remind you, right? In the first half, Broncos had 88%
Jeez.
of the possession.
Wow.
They completed 22
No.
of 25.
For the whole half.
88%.
I don't know if I've ever seen
Exactly.
possession that heavy.
And look at the score, 24-16.
they had 88%.
They hung in there. Yep.
the whole game or the first half.
First half. First half.
I don't know if I've ever seen
So
a
they
swing that
withstood
big.
that half. Yeah, it's
Wow.
fantastic. It was
12%
phenomenal.
possession.
Wow.
They defended their asses off.
14-6 at halftime.
Wow.
Wow.
So, but Wayne Bennett, he really emphasises on the best defensive coaching.
Selban Cobbo with 3 tries.
Did you see that try he scored? How magic was
And
that?
he can't get into the Queensland squad.
Exactly.
And full house at the Gabba too, which was interesting. It was good.
And this is a guy who was part of the winning squad last year. George, do we need to talk about the next game?
Oh yeah, disgraceful. And then we'll move on.
We've already pretty much covered it.
Disgraceful.
The Knights 66, Bulldogs 0.
Disgraceful.
I know Bulldogs were crap, but how good was Callum Ponga? Oh, sorry, I just got to keep talking him
No.
up because you gave him moves, and
he's very
I
good.
love him. I reckon he's better.
very
Than, I
good.
love him, man. I
Very
reckon
good.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
I'll give you one thing that you can be happy about.
Outstanding.
Seriously, it should have been 72-0
Yeah.
because that was not a forward pass. That try, did you see it with 5 minutes to go? That was 6 points. So
At least we had a record. Actually, we got the record. So
And the last game, what an nail biter, especially the way it finished.
It was a cracker. It was my favourite game.
Seagulls 18, Roosters 16.
Yeah.
Roosters went down again.
Didn't watch it, so you can fill me in.
Mate, how good was
Oh, the
that?
ending was...
Yeah, I've seen the
Nail
short.
biting,
I've seen
yeah.
the short. Yeah, I've seen the short.
Daly Cherry Evans was just phenomenal. That was probably one of the best games I've seen this year. And he's had a good year.
He's in such fine
He's the
form.
best player of the comp, I reckon.
He's fantastic. And he's 34. He's 34 years of age. I thought Roosters had a couple of guys pull out last minute. One of that, I think it was the two centres on one side. So they did well to get this close. I thought they were going to lose. Yeah, they had to do a last minute reshuffle. So I thought they did okay. It was good to see Jake back. He ran well, 127 metres, 18 runs, 34 tackles.
Jeez, New South Wales needs him.
He's good. Yeah, he's going to be good. But it was a cracking game. Even Tedesco, he had a great game. Ran 171 metres in the first half and finished with under 300. So it was good to see Teddy get some form just before Origin. So, but cracking game. Manly hung in there and won it in the end, as they deserved.
Fair to say that's the best game of the round?
For me, yep.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
George, what do you think?
Mine's Penrith and Storm. I love
Yeah,
it. I love seeing Penrith doing their thing.
Yeah.
We could probably make an argument for the Raiders Titans as well.
Yeah.
This is actually a tough one. Bludger of the round.
Who are the Bludgers?
There's three to choose from. There's really two to choose from.
Neck and neck. I'm going to pull them out. West and the Dogs.
74-0. You got to go. You got to get. That was a bludger.
The Tigers
There
and
was
the
34
Dogs.
bludgers. 34 bludgers out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What stood out for you guys this round?
How far the gap is between the bottom three and the rest of the comp. They are the Saints, the Tigers, and the Dogs are just
that's
so
what I'm thinking.
bad.
That's what I'm thinking too. The
but
difference.
You never know. Maybe they might turn things around, but it's terrible, man.
Good
George?
And the thing about that,
that's what I thought too.
But what scares me about that? Everyone predicted Saints to go bad because with all the coach and all that stuff. Tigers, new coach, bought some good players. Dogs, new coach, bought some. To play this badly, no one saw that coming, really.
No.
We thought you were going to be at least just be close to the 8, fighting for an 8.
Yeah.
But not this bad. No, you didn't seem this bad. 200 minus 251.
Yeah.
You did?
I
This
thought
bad?
I thought they'd be wooden spoon.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Well,
I didn't
the
see
media
anything.
didn't put him there. A lot of the
Well,
media
that's
put
the
him in the bottom.
They tell us that we got no idea and they've got an idea. Guess what? We got more of an idea than they've got. Because we care. They do it for money. We actually do it for the heart.
Yeah.
What stood out for me was the Raiders' grit, the winning ugly.
Yes.
They just seem to keep doing it.
Yeah.
They keep on doing it.
Yeah. Who gets? Wow. There's a few candidates for this. Who gets the John Crease spray this week?
That's easy. Can I go first?
I think we saw it. Well, yeah, you go first. Sorry.
You get a big room and you put all of the Bulldogs and all the West team. Okay, you get John Crease with a big megaphone. Okay, and let him go to work.
Yeah.
And they'll be all crying that you have 34 men fucking walking out crying.
Yeah.
I got all the Dogs fans should be spraying the Godfather of the NRL Gould. Honestly, they should. Just put Gould there and let all the Dogs fans go hard at this because he's been terrible.
Yeah.
Look at the impact Webster's had compared to Seraldo. He can sit there and back Seraldo as much as he can, but look, just look over the ridge, mate. Look over the water to see New Zealand what this guy's doing, and he's had the same circumstances. And he's
Can I just say,
around.
Seraldo does not play a Penrith system. Okay, Seraldo caters to his own
Is he trying
team.
to or not?
No, he caters to what he's got in front of him.
Yep.
Okay. Has he improved them? Has he improved the Warriors?
Wait, Serraldo or Webster?
No, Webster. Has he improved the Warriors?
Of course, out of sight.
And he's bought no one. He's bought just cheapies.
Yeah.
So now tell me how good Serraldo is.
Yep.
For me, I'm going to give it to Justin Pascoe because
Blast him as well.
no, because
No, you're right.
I mean,
Blast him as well.
because we give it to Hadji Pentalis, but the CEO Pascoe, he should be fronting the media,
True.
and he should be explaining why they're doing what they're doing, not the chairman.
You're right, man.
So for me, who's Manoli's player of the round?
I said it before, mate. The 34-year-old over at Brookvale. He's my Manoli's man, and I'm sure he's going to try and talk him into coming and joining the Roosters next year for a cameo. But it's not going to happen, Manoli. But I'd give DCE a nice sort of lucky there with some parmesan on the chips.
Actually, yeah. Well, yeah, I think DC has been the best player of the year, but I keep on going back to one name here, and I'm going to throw the other one because he improved out of sight. Drinkie was amazing, and I know he was playing against nothing, playing against
But that
shadows.
doesn't matter. You only play who's in front.
He
of
was amazing, and when I said it, I meant it. I honestly believe it was Lachlan Ilias's best game in first grade. I honestly believe it was his best game. I hope he builds on it because it looks like he's going to take a bit longer, like Mitch, to develop. But if he keeps on developing, because the last month was pretty diabolical. I was expecting him to get dropped. You know what I mean? So Drinkie's going to fly down, pick up Ilias, and they'll be driving south side to Manoli's shop for the euro, the chips with the extra
He might as well
parmesan.
swing by and pick up Didden because he's my...
Oh, so they
Didden.
can both jump on
he's
there.
right.
They'll come
you go.
together.
And that was a tough one for me because I thought Para went really well against the bye this weekend. So there was a couple of players there that could have...
True.
But I'm going to go with Tommy Didden.
True.
Artie, you got some spam mail for us?
Oh, yeah, dude. Let me just have a look at the spam for this week. Yep, I've got a few, actually.
Hit us up.
Yeah, we've got Brad from Bondi. He just wants to know if Mr. Popular Serrato is available to join the Blues coaching ranks. They need a good defensive coach.
Oh,
Apparently he's really good at defence, Mr. Serrato.
Yeah, very good.
There you go.
Extremely good defensive coach.
Gus from Double Bay. He wants to know if there's any clubs looking for a rebuild. Call me. Best in the business. Look at my record. I brought in Hook at Penrith and Mr. Popular at the Dogs. Well done, Mr.
Gus
Gould.
he should start a construction company.
Rebuilding things.
Yeah.
This was
They'll fall
surprising.
down.
Hiring apprentices, pathways.
Pathways Gould. Rick
That's his new name. That's his new name.
Pathways.
Pathways Gould. Pathways Gould. That's it.
That's it. Ricky from Canberra. He wants to know. He said the bunkers are a disgrace. There was some shocking calls in our game that could have easily changed the result. But the funny thing about that is I've got the same complaint from Tim from Leichhardt, Ryan from Cogger, and Cameron from Belmore. So they're all whinging about the bunkers. I don't think that's the reason, boys.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I don't know about that.
Cornelius from Bondi wants to. He said he's a massive NRL fan, so I don't know who this Cornelius guy.
Yeah.
He's looking forward to a really close final series.
Yeah.
Oh, then he said final round series.
Final round.
Final round. He wants to see who wins the wooden spoon. Okay, there you go.
we're
He's looking
special.
forward to the spoon bowl because that's looking really good.
Doggies.
And Nico from the Shire, very grateful that Brad giving him a great Origin experience. Those 12 minutes, I'll never forget. Hopefully, I can get a half next week, next year. So poor Nico, 12 minutes. But yeah, he's grateful.
bastard.
He's still grateful, which is good. Nice bloke,
bastard.
Nico, eh?
I love him. I love Nico.
Too humble, too modest.
If you heard
Too
him
humble,
on SCN, I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
I wanted to cry when
know.
he was saying it's his fault.
I know.
I was
was
thinking,
crazy.
no, it's not.
I hope he's got some good advisors around him telling him better.
He's got his coach there.
Even Cody Walker reached out to him and extended an olive branch saying that he felt bad for what he went through.
he got mistreated. I've never seen anyone mistreated like that. Honestly, you put him on 12 minutes and you throw him away.
Yeah.
And there was no phone call made.
Well, remember what I said about Aaron Raper? He never got on the field, so maybe that's what.
Well, think about it, right? After game one, he played 12 minutes, picked as a backup half, right? Then Cleary gets injured. He's thinking, yes, you beauty, I got the run. Dropped.
Yeah.
Like, what the? That's terrible.
I don't know. Look. Like I said, I've never seen so many young men in a series destroyed from one or from two people. Because Brad Fiddler's not good, but his Kubato's fucking is just as bad.
Well, I thought Moses went well in game two. In attack, they failed across the board. They couldn't couldn't Queensland. But I'm curious to see how the combination of him and Cody goes.
Yeah, me too. Actually, look,
It's an odd one.
I wait with bated breath come next Wednesday. I'm dying to see what's going to unfold.
Ask Artie.
Mate, just a quick one. I'm just going to go through the power rankings.
Yep.
So let me know what you guys think. Number one, I've got Penrith. You happy with that? Number two, I've got the Broncos. I've got the Eels at third.
Yep.
I reckon they're starting to really
I agree.
look dangerous.
We'll see this weekend.
And it rounds up with the Storm. Yeah.
There's there's a few. Sorry, there's a few players missing. There's 3 Origin players missing, obviously.
This round's a nothing.
And
Really.
and there's still.
Who cares?
Well, I know, and I think there's 4 or 5 in total missing. But of course, we're playing the Warriors, who have no Origin players, right?
Oh, God.
But Sean Johnson might be missing because his partner's about to give birth, or his wife's about, so he might pull out of the game.
Is it in New Zealand or?
No,
It's here.
Parramatta.
I think this game will tell us a lot about how they'll finish the year.
Yeah.
Win or lose, I think. Yeah.
It'll tell us a lot about the Warriors too, how they bounced back from a 28-6 loss. Fifth, I've got the Raiders. I think the Raiders have been very impressive, and they're going to really.
Sorry, who did you have at 4th?
Fourth, I had the Storm.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Storm. Then I had the Raiders at 5th, followed by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I could even maybe swap those around, but I think the Cowboys are flying. Rabbitohs at 7, and finished it off with the Warriors. Again, I haven't got the Sharks in there because they haven't beaten.
I still just think it's crazy, and I get it, but if we would have sat here 3 months ago and said the Sharks and the Roosters are not in the 8,
yeah.
just crazy.
Well, yeah.
Hey.
Well, Sharks are in the 8, it's just not their power rankings. And the last thing I want to go through with you guys is just say Fittler does get the boot. Who would you like to see?
I think you will.
Who would you like to see as the next New South Wales coach, and why? Like what?
Me. That was a hard one, Adi, because this was a question with notice. He told me last week, and I've been thinking about it all week, and I've been trying to think of outside the box. Then on Foxtel, when they do that one-on-one, they were having an interview with Jamal Fogarty. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Jamal Fogarty was talking. I was enjoying it. He's actually a good kid. Then he asked about Ricky Stewart, and his face changed, and I saw a deep love for the man. I saw that I will jump off a cliff. If he tells me to jump off a cliff, I will jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
Okay. I think my answer was the question was answered right there and then. And I know he can't, because he can't be an NRL coach.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anyone else with that passion. Okay. But I've got something else. So I'll have him as head coach, but I'll put Dean Pay with him.
Yes.
And I'll put Matthew Johns for the X's and O's. Not that Ricky doesn't know X's and O's, but I want Ricky to work on their mental being,
the emotional
passion,
side
the
of it.
emotional part. I want Dino to work on the toughness side of it, and I want Matty to work on the X's and O's.
Matty John's got a pretty phenomenal footy IQ, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When I hear him talk, he really
extremely.
breaks it down really well.
On one of his pods, does a few pods. On one of his pods, okay, he talks to Strictly Rugby League, okay, and I think I know something. I know nothing. When he talks, I know nothing.
I'd go. I mean, I don't believe they'll hire an NRL coach.
They won't hire, unfortunately. I can't think of anyone.
I thought they were changing the rule for next year. Anyway.
It's interesting because my answer is Michael Maguire.
Michael Maguire,
right? But that's kind of changed in the last couple of hours.
Okay.
Oh.
And left field, I'm thinking Dean Pay.
Dean Pay?
He's got first grade experience.
Why not? Yeah.
Billy doesn't. I think he's been there and done it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Look what he did with a Canterbury team that was full, like that was weak.
Exactly.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
He lifted.
He's a good coach.
I think what he did. I think what he's done, and you could argue that Potter did the same thing, but Barrett and Serraldo so far hasn't. But Pay got players to maybe play 10% above their capabilities.
Yeah.
He got the best out of them, and maybe a little bit more.
That's a good coach.
I reckon he'd be a good fit for Origin. It's not something I'd thought about until tonight.
I'm a fan. I like what you're talking about. This is going to be good. I know this is going to be good.
No.
Hit me.
I'm going to go controversial. No one's going to agree with this one, but
Tim Sheens.
No. Look, Queensland went out of the box and they got Billy Slater, right? Because he was in a good system and everything.
Yeah.
Look, the guy I'd go for is Jason Riles because he was in the Melbourne system. He knows Slater inside out. He's been under a good coach for many years.
Similar argument for Dean Pay. He's been there and done
exactly.
it. Exactly.
And Slater's never had no NRL experience, and look what he's done. So I'm looking at New Age. I'm going, get Riles in there and get the right people around him.
Yeah.
And I reckon he can maybe do something. He's the only New South Welshman I can think of that was in the Melbourne system under Bellamy. So perfect fit. He'll get some toughness out of it. I think he'll pick the best squad. I think the squad that Riles will go for will be out of the box. It won't be your traditional flamboyant. He'll be just picking guys.
What you just said,
that are gonna just do on Melbourne.
reminds me of Chris Johns at the Broncos.
Yeah.
Remember when all the Broncos were in the Queensland team?
Exactly.
But Chris Johns was the New South Wales centre.
But he's picked those brains, so he'd be fantastic. And I'd have, you're going to laugh at this one, as a forwards, I'd have Lazarus in there. I don't know how old he is or what he's doing, but he was a phenomenal player.
He's a politician in Brisbane, I think.
Is he? I would love to get him in the camp, just Lazo, just for his mental toughness. Because he was
Who would you have around him? Lazo?
Yeah, I'd have Riles, Lazo, and Maguire just to help guide him a little bit.
So my argument is this again. Do you know what's going to happen at the Gold Coast in the next couple of years?
No.
Because I think, I know.
Oh, yeah, sorry. With Desi, yeah.
Okay, so I think St George dodged a bullet not getting Riles. I honestly believe they dodged the bullet. Show me. Tell me.
What did Slater do before he got the Queensland job? What was his credentials?
So you're telling me when you see Billy Slater talk and play, you couldn't see that in him because Queensland saw that in him.
Yeah, but playing is different to coaching, Jordan. Not good players. Good
But
players don't always make good coaches.
Yeah, but he's been there's people are going to cut through.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Billy Slater in a rugby league team, a normal NRL team. I don't think they'll cut through.
I'd like to be honest.
I actually don't think he'll cut through. But for this job, he's perfect. Okay.
I just think Ross brings some professionalism in there. He'll pick hard nuts.
I know you like Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's like Serraldo. What's he done?
What did Slater did? Like I said, what did Slater do? He never coached.
New South Wales.
It's a different caliber person.
It's settled. New South Wales should get Wayne Bennett.
Hey.
He would destroy his legacy in 30 seconds. Queenslanders would hate him.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. True.
Okay, let's run into Crystal Ball.
Crystal Ball.
It's a split round this week, so there's only 5 games.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, Tigers Sharks.
Nicola, Tigers are going to bounce back. They're going to try hard. They're going to show effort. They're going to show heart, and they'll lose by 30. The Sharks will, by the end of the game, just roll over them, and it's going to be at our favourite ground at Parramatta.
I don't know why they play games there. I've got a feeling Nico's going to have a point to prove as well.
I hope so.
I'm going the Sharks. Obviously, the Sharks are going to win this. They're leading line breaks and line break assists. So imagine how much they're going to be breaking West at will. Beaten them 9 times out of the last 10, and have only won 7 out of 22. So
Dragons facing a depleted Raiders outfit, Artie.
Jeez,
they don't have Horsburgh.
I was trying to book a root canal for that time, but the dentists are closed. It's the lineup to St George of Sloane's injured, and I like how the media said that he was dropped, but he's actually got calf strain. But the media will quickly say that he's been dropped. Typical media. But Sloane's out, so they've got this guy called Paul Turner, who's been playing 5'8" and halves for the Dragons in the reserve grade.
I know who he is.
He's supposed to be okay.
He's the son of Mr. and Mrs. Turner.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
No, well.
He's playing fullback, so it's going to be interesting. But Raiders should win this, mate.
I think so.
With Whiten and those guys.
I think so.
I think they'll narrowly
Hudson
win.
Young.
Yeah, I think they'll narrowly win. I don't think they're going to romp it in. I think they're going to narrowly win.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I'm excited to see Amoni and Hunt again.
Are they playing the gong, or they are playing the gong? So look, that's their spiritual home ground. I think they're going to just lose. St George, the Raiders will just win.
We'll see, mate.
Saturday afternoon, Eels hosting the Warriors. Warriors are the favourites at $1.70. Eels $2.15.
And I actually think, Nicola, that the Warriors will win. I think they're intact, fully intact. Maybe Sean's not there. But if I know anything about Webster, he won't lose 2 games in a row.
I think the Warriors will win because Parramatta is obviously missing some key personnel.
That's the problem too.
but they've actually performed pretty well without them in the past couple of weeks. So it'll be an interesting one, I think.
Yeah, I'm going Warriors, but the interesting stat there is they've never won at Combank. They've played.
Haven't they?
No,
But it's only been 3 years.
it's only been 3
4
years.
years.
But one thing we didn't touch on, guys, what do you think of the Dylan Brown?
Oh man.
Oh yeah, funny because we were talking about this before. So last
Makes me
Wednesday,
sick.
and we looked it up on NRL website. It said that the stand down thing's been lifted. So so we assumed he was free to play, but it actually wasn't. I'm cool with it. I don't have an issue. At the end of the day,
I do.
yeah, he did something stupid. He's paid the price, and if Parramatta actually go well, he'll be well rested for the semis.
But where's the narrative here? He gets punished from the courts, and he gets punished from NRL.
Well, did you see that Warriors player who assaulted a 16-year-old? He got a 2-game ban. Curran. Did you see that?
He can't get a ban. I wasn't
2
aware of
games.
that.
Wow.
And I don't know what the details, but he was found guilty of assaulting a 16-year-old.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if he pushed or punched or I don't know.
Yeah,
He got a 2-game ban.
I don't understand.
It's very
that.
It was similar to
Consistent.
Taylor Main, didn't he do the same thing when he pushed that kid? 2 weeks.
I mean, with what happened and him pleading guilty, I always assumed there would be some kind of penalty. So I'm cool with it. And you know what? It's given Dejan Arce some game time. So I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
He's a good youngster.
It is what it is.
Good
Don't be a fucking idiot, and you won't have a problem.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true.
You know.
That's true.
Rabbitohs hosting the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I don't really care who's out from the Rabbitohs. They'll win and win well.
I think they'll win, but I'd like to see the Bulldogs fight.
Yeah.
I like to see them fight,
Yeah.
and they could put a Regis team in. And listen,
It's very similar to the game before. There's about the same amount of
Is
players
there?
out. Yeah.
I'll tell you something very, very, very interesting. The spine is Ilias, Mamazoulis, and Taff. Okay, it's a spine who've won a competition
As
in
youngsters,
in the 20s and in the flag or the ball, one of those. Okay, so that's what they wanted. That's why they're hanging around. Okay, because both of them could have left for bigger money, and I'm surprised Taff doesn't go. But anyway, so it's going to be very interesting for me to watch this game.
I'll give you some hope there, George. St George beat a Rabbitohs depleted side, so if St George can beat a depleted Rabbitohs, then the Bulldogs might have a chance. And don't forget, we let in 3 tries in the last 3 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, that one, because they're missing Cookie and because
Murray,
Murray.
Matungi,
Yeah.
Latrell, Cody
Yeah.
Walker.
Yeah.
Quite
Whereas
a few.
Cookie played in that game against St George. I think Cookie and Kolomatangi played, so South are going to be more depleted than the St George game. So I reckon that Canterbury's got a huge chance. I'm actually going to... Toby Sexton is going to line up as
Yes,
well.
he's
So
making his debut for the club. Yeah, Burton's going back to 6.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Sexton. What's he doing on the bench? I'm a fan of Sexton. I don't know how Gus pulled that one off.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
I like Sexton, and I hope to see something. And we still got Burton, haven't we? So
Who's in the halves for South?
Dean
Elias
Hawkins.
Hawkins.
And
Hawkins, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see much of him.
Dean Hawkins, and Taff. Look at the house.
Yeah, it's huge.
Sunday afternoon, Titans Dolphins.
One thing, just quickly, just want to ask, with the Bulldogs, what do you think of Serraldo Hook and the youngster? At 30-0 down, they ended up going 36 points in the second half anyway.
He was a turnstile.
He was a turnstile, eh?
So of course you're going to hook him.
Okay, fair
But-
enough. Yeah.
But
They ended up conceding more tries than second half.
yeah,
he wasn't on.
because that
He had
whole
to try something.
that whole you know what, it was Newcastle had to do nothing special. Okay, they saw there was a massive freeway
Yeah.
on the left hand side, so they'll take 2 hit ups
They'll go
and would
left
go
all
left
day.
all the time.
They're going left all
Ponga
day.
camped on the left.
Yeah.
Okay, the centre who got picked for New South Wales, what's his name?
Best.
Tattoo Man. Best. Got fed all the time and ripped them up. There was no brain surgery here. There was no great rugby league play. You know what I mean? There was just massive M7s everywhere
Yeah.
for them to run through. So you know what I mean. But anyway,
He might bounce back. He looked okay. When he played his little few minutes, he looked
he's
okay.
okay. Yeah.
He's
I
okay.
forgot how we got there. We were talking about the Titans Dolphins.
No, that's the next one.
We've gone back to the Bulldogs again.
No, it was just
I'd really like the Titans to win. I think the Dolphins will win, but
They're pretty even with players out, aren't they?
Are they?
Because, Dolphins have got the Hammer and Titans have got Tino. And is Fafita there?
Felice Kafusi's out.
No.
How come he's out?
Is Kafusi
He
out?
must be injured. He's not in Queensland.
Unless he's suspended again. Should be wearing the jersey. He's out.
He's out too.
Kafusi's out.
Okay, you know what? On paper, Dolphins look better because of all the outs.
I'm going to go to Gold Coast.
I'm going Gold Coast sentimental value, but
that's a tough game.
Yeah.
That's a tough game.
this is going to be a good game actually. It's going to be a great game. Is it on a Sunday?
I don't know.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock.
Oh, good.
On the Gold Coast.
Good.
Artie, who are you tipping?
Titans have won 5 of the last 7 at Seabus, so they've got a good record at home. Geez, that's a tough one. I reckon Bennett's going to get
Masterclass.
Yeah. They did well against the Broncos, man. I'm still impressed with that effort last week. They were unlucky at the end.
I mean, look, I was really impressed with the last performance I saw at Seabus Stadium. Of course, that was a Kiss concert, but anyway. Who's going to win Origin, boys?
We can do that next week.
We can talk about it. Yeah, we might see some withdrawals by then.
Yeah, okay.
There'll be definitely something happening.
Yeah, I mean, half of the New South Wales team won't get to train until next week. So,
Probably not.
George, you got some tidbits for us?
I have.
Simi Renrandra trying the chip and chase. Oh no, it's Simi Renrandra. Renrandra's away. Simi Renrandra.
Oh, this will be interesting.
Oh yes, it will. Yes.
Semi Renrandra.
Oh, he's absolutely buried it. Renrandra.
Ran round ya.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I'll thank the Wonder Boy Anthony for the promo. I think I might play that in front of my buried segment every week.
There you go.
The Super League, Nicola, as you know, we're following the plight of the world champions. And somehow they got another victory, Nicola. St Helens 32, Castleford 0.
Ooh,
Wow, that's a big win.
it's a huge win.
Yeah. Warrington 6, Leeds 22. They keep on sliding.
Warrington's sliding.
Yeah, they're sliding. Wakefield 32, Salford 6, and they said that Wakefield wasn't going to win a game all year.
Wow.
Nicola. Our team, Nicola, the Lee Leopards. 34 beat Hull KR. They're back on the.
It's the jersey.
That's fantastic. Well, surely they're in top 4. They've cemented them.
Second.
Wow.
Second.
It's the jersey.
Wigham 22, Huntersville 6, Nicola. Hull KR 18 and Catalans 28.
Wow.
Yep. The table stands, the top 6 stands, Catalans 26, Nicola. Our team, the Lee Leopards second at 22. Wigham, which I think is probably the best team in the comp, 22. Warrington sliding down, but they're still 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? There's this thorn in my fucking side here. St Helens, I don't know how, but they're
2
fifth,
points from second.
Yeah, they're 5th with 20.
They've just got to make it. It's a new competition.
Wow.
And number 6, Salford at 20. And you know what? All year I've watched every one of their games because for us, that's the game they show, okay? Yeah. They've played one good game all year and it annoys the fuck out of me. Yeah, honestly. They bumble and stumble and knock on in the last minute. And they score a try. You know what I mean? It's a Manchester United thing.
We
you
might
know?
as well start calling them the Inzagis.
Well, what's Manchester United? They used to score 96th minute or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The last second, Beckham or someone. That's what they're like. You know what I mean? Seriously. So that's that.
It's good to see one Saints team playing terribly and still in the 8, which is awesome. So
True. You know what? I checked to see what the biggest losing scores are of all time.
In the Super League.
Well, the Super League was pretty heavy for that, wasn't it? Is this including the Super League?
Of all time. So that's what what he said. And 1935, Nicola, Canterbury Bankstown's first ever game, they went to Cogra Oval to play apparently a star-studded St George team. And on that day, they underperformed. St George scored 91 points,
Yeah.
Jeez.
and we scored 6.
Yeah.
The week after, we got revitalised, and we had a really good training week, and we went to eastern suburbs there at the cricket ground. And unfortunately, we slipped up again, 87-7, Nicola, the same year. And 2023, the Cowboys won 74-0 against the Tigers, which we've witnessed.
So no one's cracked 100.
No one's cracked 100 yet.
Can I
St
tell you-
George 91.
You know what's amazing about the 91-6?
What's that?
Those tries were only worth 3 points.
3 points.
Yes. Up until, was it 1982?
3 points.
Was it 1982 where it changed? 83? 81?
I thought it was in the 70s. Was it 80s?
I'm not sure. Was it 1980? I can't
Yeah,
remember
maybe,
exactly.
maybe. But
What was the conversion worth?
2.
2.
So it was 5 points if you
Yeah.
scored. Okay.
So that's why they'll kick from everywhere. Kickers
Artie's
were important.
100% right. All of those scores would have been 100 plus with 4
Now,
point
these
tries.
days,
Yeah.
these days for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Nicola, this year I'm bringing back the player in focus, and one of my favourite all-time players, Nicola, Terry Baba Lamb.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mate, he was a 3-time Dally M medalist winner, 84, 86, 95. 5 times 5/8 of the year, Nicola, 84, 86, 87, 91, 91 and 93.
You know what's amazing about that?
What's
In
that?
those 84s, he was playing for Western Suburbs, who were like last, and he still won the Daily M's.
And can I just interject with
That
something
was
else?
amazing,
You
yeah.
said he won the Dalium in 95?
Yeah.
Dally M, he won, no, and 84, 86, 95.
95.
95, yeah.
And now, am I right in saying he wasn't training
He wasn't
in
training,
95?
no.
He was just playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he had that many injuries.
Yes.
That's phenomenal.
Yes.
And that's
When you
the-
think about that, he wasn't training.
and that's when they came 5th, they just squeezed in.
They
And-
won first team, I think the only team to win it
I'm
from
told,
5th place. Yeah.
Only to come from 5th place, yeah.
Mm.
He won 18 Dally M awards, Nicola. He was the top try scorer, 84, 87, with 17 tries. He won 3 premierships.
He was phenomenal.
As we know, okay. He was the top point scorer in 86. The only player to play on all the Kangaroo games at 86. And as Peter Moore said, it was his best buy of all time. As we
Can't
know.
argue with that.
Remember we done that the Peter Moore review, and he's a Hall of Famer. But beside of all the accolades, I mean, I would go to Belmore Sports Ground just to watch him.
Yeah.
Watch him play, and all he done was very simple, just trail the forwards.
And for those who don't remember, he was not a big man
Was
at all.
not a
No,
big man.
yeah.
Stocky,
Was not a big man.
he was
Fantastic.
short,
Yep.
but just naturally gifted.
Full of heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full of heart. He started. Was
A real leader.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah.
Canterbury Junior, but West picked him up originally. He played for West. He had one under 23 game, and they put him straight into first grade, and
Yeah.
didn't leave first grade.
Killed it.
The thing about
smashed it.
players like Terry Lamb, which is fortunate, unfortunate, is that during his era, he had, excuse me, he had Brett Kenny,
Kenny.
he had Wally Lewis,
Well,
Cliffy Lyons, Des Hasler. There was so much competition
Yep.
for those positions. You know, Greg Alexander had to always play fullback
that's right.
for New South Wales because he couldn't get a spot.
That's
Like
right.
there was just
Yeah.
so it wasn't like, you know, Johns had Kamali.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Terry Lamb had 3 or 4
Yeah.
players at that level
Yeah,
that he was
absolutely.
going up against. So that
Absolutely.
says even more about what he did.
Absolutely.
You know?
And like I said, he filled my my life in the 80s especially, and all the way to the 90s. But he was a different type of player back in the early 90s and 90s. But that 80 period with the famous games against all the famous Parramatta
Yeah.
team, he gave me he's given me a lot of good memories, more so than Turby. I mean, I like Turby, but
Another special player. We were
From,
talking about him before.
yeah, from But from all the players, I've got to admit that besides Sterlo, who's still as my favourite all-time player, Terry Lamb is
He's up there?
probably Terry Lamb is probably my favourite Canterbury
I
player.
miss that period.
Mm.
Yeah,
Is there any
Terry
top-
Lamb, Mortimer, the folks, Bugden,
Yeah,
Peter Kelly,
Kelly.
Canterbury.
Tunks.
For those who don't remember, Canterbury had the best forward pack in the 80s.
Mm.
Well, that was it.
They
That
were
was
unbelievable.
grind.
Mm.
Unbelievable. Tunks.
Is there any times you blokes remember being at Parramatta Stadium or Cogra?
always. I mean,
seeing
I
Bar?
always, as a kid through the 80s, I always just remember Canterbury having the wood on Para. Felt like every time we played, the Bulldogs always won. I can't remember. I was obviously very young, but
I think it was pretty split. It was pretty 50-50.
Terry Lamb was, especially because I remember clearly the back end of his career.
Mm.
And I remember at the time thinking, wow, this guy doesn't train because he can't.
You can't train.
It's a bit like Kieran Foran now.
Yeah, needs are gone. Yeah,
Although I wouldn't put Foran in the same class as Terry Lamb, but but it's I just remember thinking like, how phenomenal this guy doesn't train. He turns up and plays, and he didn't have the physio and recovery and all the bullshit they have now.
days,
They didn't wear bras under their jerseys with electric devices on them. You know, just a phenomenal talent.
It is, man.
Oh yeah, special.
No, he was a great player. He
Special.
was fantastic.
Very special.
If you guys got any requests for player in profile for next week?
Slippery Morris.
Okay, done.
Steve Morris.
Love him.
Done.
Yeah.
He's
Done.
my
Done
favourite.
deal. That's right. He's your favourite. You know what? For you, Adi, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And like your last, I'm going to have a song of the week, and this is this is in response to Adi, and he went and saw a band or a singer, I think 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. Billy Ocean.
Oh,
Do you remember
awesome.
Billy
How
Ocean?
was that?
Yes, he was great. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. 73-year-old man, mate, but he's still
Yeah.
got the pipes. He's,
Yeah?
he's singing. Yeah, his voice sounded the same as he did.
Do you remember?
1980.
Do you remember what was the first song he sang?
I've been thinking about you. Is
The
that Billy
first song
Ocean?
he sang, I didn't even.
Is that Billy Ocean?
No, but I've been
I've
thinking.
been
no,
thinking
Caribbean
about
Queen. No.
I was going to say, was that the highlight of the night?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Caribbean
Queen,
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Okay,
And
and
Loverboy.
and
was
Loverboy,
good.
yeah. So to finish off the podcast, Nico, once we sign off,
Yeah.
I'll get the Wonder Boy to put Caribbean Queen.
There you go.
Done.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Done.
Very good.
Too easy.
What are you boys looking forward to?
I have to wait for Origin, but you know what? No. Sunday. I think I'll be working. I'm going to come home, grab a coffee, sit down on the lounge, and watch the Queensland battle or the South Queensland battle of Titans and the Dolphins. That's what I'm saying. Because the rest, I think, look pretty. Alright. Give it to me, Adi. What do you got?
Saturdays we usually play soccer either 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock kickoff, but this week for some reason they've scheduled us for Friday night, and I'm so grateful because I get to miss out on the Dragons.
So Artie's looking forward to playing
I
soccer.
hate playing nights, but this Friday is going to be good. Yeah,
I thought you'd like playing
nights. I used to love playing nights.
No, it's the worst.
You can't see for shit, but
exactly.
it's
That's why it's shit.
fun.
But yeah,
It's a good excuse for bad tackles. I couldn't see anything, ref. So my one, actually, I wasn't sure, but I just thought about it in the last 10 minutes. I'm looking forward to the PG press conference.
PG.
Yeah, Pathways Gould.
Pathways, yeah. I'm going to call it Pathways from now on.
That's it now. That's it.
I swear, man, we've got to make that shirt with all our sayings
All the
on the back.
nicknames, yeah.
That's another one,
That's
Pathways.
a good
Yeah.
one. Pathways.
That's a good one.
All right, well, that does us, boys. That's a wrap.
No worries.
Episode 46. Looking forward to the big 50 coming up. We've got a few things planned. I don't know about them yet, but we'll find out as we get there.
Nor do I, the Wonder Boy.
yeah.
The Wonder Boy.
But George, Arthur, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, listeners, viewers, and we'll see you all next week.
Happy Rugby League,
Enjoy.
everybody.
Happy rugby league.
Goodbye.
Bye.